How's it going, YouTube? This is Skul, and you can imagine my surprise this morning when I woke up to the realization that I had received an email from Atari showing off the first pictures of their brand new console, codenamed the Ataribox. And honestly, it doesn't look like that's the codename. It looks like that might actually be the console name. Could be wrong, could still be the codename, but in any case, Atari did email out the first look at the Ataribox, and I'm just going to go ahead and read the email verbatim, probably have it on the screen right here, detailing the email itself. Anyway, it says, first look at the Ataribox design. Thanks again for signing up to learn more about the Ataribox project. And if you want to sign up so you get emails like this, then just go to the website ataribox.com and sign up there. It's completely free. It's just a mass email subscription thing that they send people whenever there's new info to talk about. Anyway, we've been blown away by the feedback since the teaser release, and today we're excited to share an exclusive first look at the Ataribox design with you. And remember, the teaser came out like a month ago, if that, so they've been incredibly good at getting stuff out pretty quickly. They didn't tease this and then wait a year before telling us. So we got the picture of the Ataribox here, and it will come in two different designs. The wood edition, which is based off of classic Atari, and then a black and red edition, which I guess is based off of the Vader Atari, which was kind of popular back in the day. And in any case, modernizes the look, but still makes it look like Atari. The text reads, our objective is to create a new product that stays true to our heritage while appealing to both old and new fans of Atari. Inspired by classic Atari design elements, such as the iconic use of wood, ribbed lines, and raised back, we are creating a smooth design with ribs that flow seamlessly all around the body of the product, a front panel that can be either wood or glass, a front-facing logo, indicator lights that glow through the material, and an array of new ports, HDMI, 4 USBs, and an SD. We intend to release two editions, a wood edition and a red-black edition, like I just said. As you can guess, these ports suggest modern internal specs. It also means that while we will be delivering classic gaming content, we will also be delivering current gaming content. We know you are hungry for more details on specs, games, features, pricing, timing, etc. We're not teasing you intentionally. We want to get this right, so we've opted to share things step by step as we bring Ataribox to life, and to listen closely to Atari community feedback as we do so. There are a lot of milestones, challenges, and decision points in front of us in the months ahead. We'll be giving you lots of information and status updates as we progress, and we are thrilled to have you along for the ride. Hope you like where we are taking this. We'll be in touch soon, the Ataribox project team. So, this is what Atari's next console is going to look like. This is what the 5th console of the 8th generation looks like. One, I'm still just in utter shock that the thing even exists. I've already made a whole video about this before, but the last time Atari made a console was the Atari Jaguar, and that thing basically died down before I knew my alphabet. So it's been forever since Atari's made a console. And from the sounds and looks of this, this is going to be an up-to-date console, not a throwback. It does say very clearly that they want to put both old and new games on this thing. So I'm willing to guess that when you buy it, it comes preloaded with a ton of classic Atari games. I'm going to guess, just off the top of my head, there could be stuff like Asteroids, Missile Command, Yar's Revenge, maybe even, you know, the ports of Pac-Man and E.T. the Extraterrestrial, which were directly responsible for the game crash in 1983. They might be there just because they're classic games that everyone knows about. Everyone wants to play on Atari. But I don't think that's the focus here. The focus is the new games. As it very clearly says, they want to bring current generation games to the console. I'm willing to bet that that means very much in line of the Nintendo Switch, that it'll be fairly easy to port games to the Ataribox if developers so wish. And I'm also willing to bet that for the Ataribox to do well, they're going to need to put a ton of really good exclusives onto it. Very much like the Switch. It had The Legend of Zelda at launch, it had Mario Kart 8 Deluxe soon after, and of course we get Splatoon 2 this very week that this video goes up. So, The Ataribox needs to have a lot of good exclusives to do well. That's not what this video is about, though. It's just to look at the console itself. My first impressions are that I think I like the black and red one more, just because it's more modern. I think the angry video game nerd would argue that the 70s and 80s were the wood age of everything. Everything was wooden. The game consoles were wooden, the televisions were wooden. Heck, I had a television in the 90s that was wooden because it was made in the 70s. I loved that thing, but yeah, furniture was wooden, inside interiors of houses were wooden. It was just the wooden age. And the Atari, with the wooden design, just screams 70s. Whereas the black and red console does look like a current generation console. I mean, if you were to tell me that this was a contender, I would believe you. The PlayStation is known for being blue, the Xbox is known for being green, but the consoles themselves are black. Now, as for the look of it itself, it looks like an Atari console. I mean, I have my 2600 hooked up right now to my television, and this looks pretty much just like it. I mean, I'm pretty sure the average consumer at first glance will just look at this and say, that's Atari. Which is, you know, it does the job. And obviously they went out of their way to make it look like the Atari, and they did a really good job at that. If that was their goal, they have succeeded. That's about all I need to say about that. I'm looking at the picture of the wood one right now. I'm not sure if those 4 indicator lights are ports or if they're just lights. They're probably just the lights. The ports are on the back. Judging by the black and red one. There are no ports on the front, or I guess they're indicator lights, whatever. So it looks like everything is on the back, and I'm just going to click on the picture here to take a better look at it. As they say very clearly, there are 4 USB ports in the back. I see an HDMI port. I see a LAN port for Ethernet port for cable. I see the SD slot. I see the power jack to power up the thing. And then on the very bottom left of the thing, I don't know what that is. That might just be extra room for if they put in something else later. I don't know. So that's, you know, it reminds me more of an internet router than anything else. It doesn't look like a game console on the back, at least not a modern day one. The biggest thing is, I can't think of any reason you would actually need 4 USB ports on your Atari box. The one thing I can think of is maybe that's the plug-in for the controllers. And rather than just Bluetooth the things into the console themselves, either you're going to have to plug the controllers into the back and wrap them around the front and have actual cords. Consoles haven't had cords for controllers since the 6th generation, so either they're breaking with tradition and going back to cords just for simplicity / low cost sake, or in order to plug your controller into the console, you plug a tiny USB jack into the console, and that Bluetooths to the controller. It's kind of like how wireless mice work. That's what I'm thinking, is that's how they're going to handle the controllers. Honestly, I honestly can't think of anything else that those USB ports would be, especially why you would need 4 of them. If any of you have any ideas, please let me know. The SD slot is a regular, it looks like it fits a regular SD card, not a micro SD card like the Nintendo Switch. I'm willing to bet that's just to boost the internal storage. I'm sure to keep costs down, they're going to load this thing with maybe only 32, 64 gigs of memory, like the Switch has, and just say, oh, if you want more, then you can just plug in an SD card. Honestly, that's a good business decision, because it keeps costs down. Internal storage, you know, that can get pretty pricey pretty fast. I'm just a tiny bit worried by looking at this thing for one reason. I don't see a disc slot or a cartridge slot. That means unless the cartridges are what are going to fit into that bottom left thing that I can't really make out, which I highly doubt, because again, that's the back of the console. That means that this thing does not take physical media, which it was bound to happen someday with video gaming, that it would just turn all digital, but that would really be a deal breaker for me. I prefer physical media. I mean, that's just my personal preference. I know plenty of people who prefer a digital library of games. I just prefer something you could go to the store and buy and take out of the case and play for a while and then put back in the case and then collect dust on the shelf for a few years. That's just what I prefer. And if the Atari does not play physical media, and it doesn't look like it will, that just makes it a harder selling point, not only for me, but for a lot of other people. Especially if it's going to play modern day games, and especially if you need an SD card to expand the memory. Let me put it this way. The lack of having to actually physically play media could bring costs of this thing down to, I'm guessing, $300, maybe even less. It could be a $250 console. Honestly, my guess is if they want for this thing to be a contender in the current marketplace, they're going to have to put it out there for $250. And it looks like they've done everything they can to reduce the cost in order to make that possible. If they were to put this out there as is, I would guess that they would market it for $250. That would be my guess for either of them. Because aesthetically they're different, but I'm willing to bet the insides are the same. So I'm guessing $250 is what this is going to go for, just based off of what I'm seeing here. Again, I don't know anything about the inside. This could be playing 4K stuff, and that'll bump up the price a little bit. Anyway, so this is the first look at the Ataribox. That's my little analysis of what I'm seeing, and I really want to be excited for this. The lack of the ability to play digital stuff, unless there's something I'm just missing, or physical stuff, that is kind of a deal breaker to me, but as long as the console's good and it can play current generation games, I'll be more than happy to pick it up just to support Atari, which I can't believe it is back. It looks like they're back in full force. I am just in utter shock. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day. Hi, everyone. This is Skul. If you liked the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. If you're already subscribed, hit that little bell so you get notifications whenever I upload a new video. That does it for now. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.